Hello, everyone. This is Paul, the Oakenite, coming to you with some great news. After 5 years of dreaming and 2 years of planning and 4 months of doing, I am thrilled to announce the completion of the base level of my new game table. And thrilled is exactly the right word, as the design has worked, the build came together, and now I have the best game table I ever dreamt of having. Most excellent. Let me show you around. Warning! Viewing this video has been known to induce uncontrolled drooling in some members of the gaming population. If you suspect you are among them, please keep a drool bucket handy at all times. Oh yeah. Let's begin our guided tour at the table base. If you have been following this series, you know that the table has been built on an 8-foot by 4-foot stadium-shaped conference room table. 3 sheets of 3/4-inch plywood were cut and screwed into the base table to effectively form a 101-inch by 50-inch plywood base for the table. As expected, the existing table had no problem supporting this, plus the other elements added during the build. And if that is not enough, once completed, the upper level of the table will stretch out to 105 by 54 inches, an exceedingly manly table indeed. The table apron was built from a single board of 8/4 sapele mahogany, ripped and cross-cut into 4 boards that formed the sides of the table. The reverse of the boards were dado cut to be glued to the plywood base. 2 dados were cut on the outside face to be used as a mounting system for accessories to be attached to the table's sides. The primary mount point is formed by an aluminum T-track that goes all around the table. Accessories will be mounted to the track via T-bolts that will be secured via thumb nuts through whatever it is that's being attached to the table. To keep the build manageable, the 8-foot by 4-foot side rails were cross-cut in half and then rejoined when mounted on the plywood base of the table. A walnut patch was used to strengthen and straighten this joint and serve as a decorative element. And I have something special to show you relating to this at the end of the video, so hang in there. The board used to build the table apron was one of the most beautiful pieces of lumber I have ever seen. It features an unbelievably clean, virtually knot-free example of sapele ribbon grain pattern that shifts from light to dark depending on your viewing angle. It's an amazing visual effect and is one of the reasons I like this species so much. Another set of matchboards was cut from a single 14-foot by 9-inch 5/4 sapele mahogany board to form the armrests that encircle the table. This was another amazing board, but much different than the one used on the table apron. Instead of a straight ribbon grain pattern, the armrest board has a swirling, much more active grain. Its ribbon patterns move across the board back and forth, as well as in the vertical. The random movement adds all kinds of cool effects on both the face and the sides of the boards, and in some places reminds me of curly maple. I elected to do a fairly wide 3.5-inch elbow rest as a creature comfort. After all, the armrest is the part of the table gamers will be in physical contact with most of the time, so trading some space for added comfort seems like a good idea. The armrest was glued directly onto the apron to form an asymmetrical T. That is, it extends from the apron by 1 inch on the outside and 3/4 inch on the inside. The inner extension serves to hide the seam between the floor well and the apron and absorbs 1.5 inches that would have made the table that much wider. Both are deep enough to serve as accessory mount points should I want to do that. The table well is 2 inches deep and is lined with an engineered wood flooring product. See my materials video for details, but suffice to say that I considered many alternatives, and given my table's large size, this was the best bet. And looks to me like it worked just fine. So I'm very happy with my engineered wood, waterproof, and scratch-resistant choice. The table was finished using almost no stain at all. Just a 33% mix on the 2 walnut patches. The apron and armrests were tinted with a base coat of dye, followed by 2 to 3 coats of General Finishes flat water-based top coat. The result was a natural-appearing yet tough poly-protected armrest that should hold up to the rigors of being a gaming table. And as an added benefit, the finish was human-friendly while drying, even though it was being finished in a semi-enclosed basement area. I had never used dye before, but definitely will add it to my clue bag for future reference. First, instead of covering the wood grain, as even oil-based stain can do, it penetrates deep into the wood and actually enhances the grain's appearance. Second, a little goes a very, very long way. For example, the armrest was finished with 5 drops of brown mahogany dye plus 3 drops of red mahogany dye mixed into 120 milliliters of denatured alcohol. Yes, in this world you are mixing your own colors. Finally, since I used denatured alcohol as my solvent, dye application dried incredibly fast. I was able to completely finish the wood in one day, including the top coat, where other methods could take days or even weeks in some cases. Dye is very, very cool stuff. While the base of the table is done, I will complete the entire project by building the tabletop, a storage solution for the same, and letting my imagination run wild making bolt-on accessories. The pressure is pretty much off now, and I have made it to the fun part. For the top level, my current thinking is to construct 4 or 5 panels that will stretch across the table base and lay flat on the armrests. They will be built from 3/4-inch plywood with countertop material laminated on top and framed in sapele and/or walnut. I expect to connect one or the other via dowel joinery, no glue, and hold them together with magnets embedded in the inner seams. We shall see, but I think this will work. Note, because plywood is dimensionally stable, unaffected by reasonable changes in temperature and humidity, I expect to avoid wood expansion problems that a 100% hardwood tabletop might experience. Oh yeah, now how about that walnut patch we discussed earlier? Now doesn't that look a whole lot better? Most excellent. So my friends, welcome to my new and improved game room. Now that the table base is done, I can get back to playing and reviewing games, and God knows I have a lot of them. And many thanks to all of you who stuck with me during the project. Hey, and if you are new to my channel, thanks for taking a look. If you want to see more, go ahead and hit the subscribe button to support the channel and the notification bell so you see what other fun stuff I come up with in the future. But for now, after 3 months in game limbo, I'm dying to set something up. I can't believe how much I miss setting up a game to kick around for fun or warm up the camera to post something to share with you guys. So this is Paul, the Oaken Knight, back in the saddle and wishing you all a pleasant evening. Now where did I put that dice tower?